Welcome back, adventurers of the internet. As the channel name suggests, we are practical DMs. We are not always artists, but we want some good art for our next D&D campaign or one-shot. AI is here to help. We make fun of AI on this channel sometimes, but AI can be a very useful tool when it comes to creating images and fantastic epic scenes. This one on the screen was created in under 30 seconds, and we are going to look at some use cases for AI creating imagery for our campaigns. There are two different tools that I use for image creation or description of images in my D&D campaigns. The first one is ChatGPT. There are many tools that you can use, but this one is free and fast and easy. I use ChatGPT specifically for 3 different kinds of descriptions. The first one is for an entire scene, and the cool thing is you can plug in any details that you want. Here, the prompt is as follows. Describe a scene for my D&D game. It is a dark and stormy location out at sea. A single beam of light shoots from the sky into the water. The players are on a large ship sailing toward it. And here is what ChatGPT spit out in 2 seconds. Imagine you're sitting at the D&D table and you want to describe to your players what they are seeing. You copy and paste this into your notes, and when they get to the appropriate spot, the light is visible in the distance, you can say this. The storm rages around you, waves crashing violently against the hull of your ship. Rain lashes down in sheets, and thunder rumbles like a great beast waking from slumber. Dark clouds roil overhead, illuminated sporadically by flashes of lightning that seem to dance along the surface of the ocean. In the distance, a single beam of ethereal light pierces the gloom, plunging down from the turbulent sky into the churning waters below. The light glimmers with an otherworldly hue, casting eerie reflections across the waves. It swells and pulses, drawing the eye and beckoning with a siren's call, promising mystery and danger. As your ship crests a towering wave, you can see the light's shimmering glow illuminating the faces of your companions, each one a mixture of awe and trepidation. The air crackles with energy, and the sea seems to hum with anticipation. The wind howls like a chorus of lost souls urging you toward this strange beacon. Will you navigate closer to investigate, or will the ominous storm push you back? The choice lies before you. If you are a DM, this is so cool. It's just here, a free tool. So awesome. It would take me an hour to write something even close to this good. And I have so many other things I want to do as I create as a DM. I want to be planning big picture things and the narrative and the characters. And here we have this amazing description. Yes, there are tools, really great tools out there, even ones that you can pay for, and I've used them. But this is so quick and easy. And some of this is stuff that I would not have even thought of and sparks really cool ideas. 9 out of 10 ChatGPT. The second thing I'll use ChatGPT for, or AI for, in descriptions in my game is describing items. Here's a quick prompt. Create a description for a D&D magic item that is a small glass orb that is emitting shadows as though they were light. When held, the orb pulls heat from the body of the player holding it. And in under 2 seconds, this is the response ChatGPT gives me. There's a lot of extra stuff here that I would not necessarily use. I'm just looking for a description, but here it is. This small, perfectly spherical orb is crafted from a mysterious glass that seems to absorb light rather than reflect it. Wisps of shadow swirl within, spilling out like ethereal smoke, creating an unsettling contrast against the surrounding environment. When held, the orb emits a dim, shadowy light that flickers and dances, casting eerie shapes on nearby surfaces. While this didn't capture exactly what I gave it in the description or the prompt, I could clarify and mess with it a little bit, but here we go. Plug and play, under 2 seconds. This is a great description. You need a description for a magic item, a homebrew thing, a staff, an orb, a cloak, whatever. You throw it in here and you got it. The final thing I'll use ChatGPT for when it comes to descriptions in my games is describing characters. Again, there are many tools that you can use, but this one is, again, free and easy and quick. In 2 seconds, the prompt, describe a character. He is wearing incredible wizard robes and is obviously very powerful. And ChatGPT's response, meet Zephyra Stormweaver, a high elf sorceress. whose presence commands attention the moment she steps into a room. Her incredible robes shimmer like the night, woven from the enchanted fabric that shifts colors between deep indigo and vibrant silver. Let's just stop there for a second. That is such a cool idea that I would never have thought of. This robe that changes colors. I would have just said gold and purple robes because that's the cliche. But this is way cooler. 10 out of 10, ChatGPT. It reflects the light as if it captures the essence of the cosmos. Intricate patterns of constellations and arcane symbols dance along the edges, glowing softly with faint ethereal light. Her robes are not just for show. They are reinforced with powerful enchantments, granting her protection from magical attacks and enhancing her spellcasting ability. A deep hood often drapes over her long, flowing hair, which sparkles with hints of starlight, suggesting her connection to celestial powers. Around her neck, she wears a pendant shaped like a crescent moon, a family heirloom that amplifies her innate magical abilities. Her fingers are adorned with rings inscribed with ancient runes, each one containing a different spell or enchantment. Her piercing violet eyes, filled with wisdom and a hint of mischief, survey the world with confidence. Zephyr carries an air of both mystery and authority. Again, such a cool idea, and I would not have thought about this in a million years. Super cool. If you don't like exactly what you're given, you can clarify. That's the cool thing about ChatGPT and other programs like this. I said again, but make her tall and wearing glasses. So you're going to get a very similar thing, but with those two details in there because you want them in there for your game or whatever. The second program I will use when I am creating descriptions or scenes for my players that is AI related is this one, Microsoft's AI Image Generator. You can Google it. You'll have to sign in or make an account with Microsoft if you don't have one already to access the ability or the feature. You click Create Custom Image and you're off. This is what the interface looks like. They have some demonstrations below here of things that other people have created. You click on the description box and type your prompt in here like you would do to ChatGPT, except this time it's going to create an image for you. I will use this in two ways primarily. The first way is to create an image that my players won't necessarily see. In this case, I would put a prompt in. For this demonstration, I typed in, create a scene in a medieval inn. The room is empty, but for a lone figure in the far back, he is wearing a robe that is covering his face. The room is dark and dirty. So we have this prompt. It gives you 4 different images that you can click between and see the various different ones that it's created, and you pick one you like. I'm just going to pick this one because it placed our figure in the far back here. So what I would do is I would take this image through this download button and I would put it in my notes. And when I arrive at this location, instead of a description through ChatGPT, which I might also create, I will have this picture in my notes so that I can describe it to the characters more organically. So instead of arriving in that place and saying, you arrive in a tavern, the tavern is made of old oak, and just reading a description from any tool that you can get online or AI, ChatGPT, I have a picture to reference so I can start with the big picture and then narrow in on something that they ask about perhaps, or this would inform the scene or the battle at hand. For example, I would say you enter a small dark room. There are bottles on the right-hand side of the room. The walls are made out of stone, the roof wood, and the only light in the room is coming in from glass windows on your left-hand side. Ahead of you and far back in the room is a single cloaked figure. You cannot see his face. What do you want to do? And then they might say, oh, what's the floor made out of? And instead of saying, wood, randomly, I can look at the picture and say, oh, the floor is covered in dirt and debris. It's obviously has not been cleaned in a long time. This is a really handy tool. You don't have to have every single detail in your brain that is getting in the way and you're trying to think multiple things at once. Instead, you can run the game and enjoy the game and describe it if they ask for a specific detail. It also can inspire things. I would not have had the only light come in from the windows. I would have had torches perhaps, but this is a cooler aesthetic. It also allows you to answer certain questions in the battle perhaps. So they could say, oh, I am in rough shape. I want to escape out the window behind me. And I can say, yes, you can fit out the window, but there's glass and metal in the way, and it's going to be a certain DC to break through, or you might take damage breaking through. The second way to use this image generator in your game is to create images that your players will see. I have a screen behind me when I am DMing, and on the screen I'm running PowerPoint, and I can flip between images. I can show them maps, so we can all see the same thing at the same time. And sometimes the theater of the mind is incredible and describing is incredible, but sometimes it's really cool to see an image. So the prompt I put in here is create an epic vista of mountain range with swirling clouds above. The silhouette of a dragon can be seen in the distance. And again, they give you 4 options. This is my favorite. You can just stick this into your PowerPoint or have this displayed somewhere so your players can see it, and you'll all know what you're looking at. They'll be able to ascertain how to traverse this area instead of asking a million questions about how tall are the mountains, how spread out are they. They'll see that there's a little room between them, that there is a bigger mountain in the distance. Perhaps that is the one they're looking for. They'll be able to see what time of day it is and what's happening in the sky and what threats there might be. Another cool feature about this program is that you can tell it what kind of picture you want produced. So you can say realistic or a painting or a cartoon, which is what I just threw in here just for fun. Obviously, there's a hand in the way and you could be more specific. Perhaps you're playing a game where you want a different style evoked. This tool will allow you to do that, and that one is super cool. Perhaps you're playing a more whimsical style game and you want a different kind of picture. You can plug that in and it will produce it. You can also use this to show your players a painting they see in a room. Perhaps there's a puzzle built into it and you want them to understand what they're all looking at so that they're not confused by your description. There are times in a game, too, where I'm trying to describe a painting or a portrait on a wall, and I just spend so much time and they don't understand what I'm saying. You could use this tool to produce that painting or that portrait and show them all so that they can see the details. And that is all we have for today. These are such cool tools that you can use to enhance your game. They are not the end all of end all. There are other tools that allow you to do the same thing, but these ones are free and easy and so cool, and we have access to them, so why not use them and spend our time creating the narrative and the big picture and the characters and doing the other things that we love to do. Your games will look more professional, and you don't have to be an artist to produce them. As always, click all the buttons below, hit subscribe so you don't miss our next review or our next video on the best things, the best tools that you can use for your D&D game, and we will see you next time.